for tuning in and welcome to our very first episode of Life Through the Lens of Faith with Z. And first things first, I want to thank every individual that shared the introduction of this podcast, be it on WhatsApp, your Instagram, your Twitter, any platform that you have shared it on. Thank you so much. I am excited and nervous at the same time, but hey, we've started this thing. Let's get into it. People who've shared messages, encouraging messages to me, I really appreciate you. People who've prayed over me, I thank you so much. Please continue to do so, and let's dive into this. We have an estimation of 10,000 religions. That's worldwide. Okay, that's an estimation that I got on Google, that in the world we have more than 10,000 religions, and out of that number, 83% of population belongs to at least 12 of those religions, and those would be the ones that we're familiar with: Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, you name it. Yeah. And you might be asking, where's this going? And that's going to be answered shortly. And probably for some, you've had a look into these statistics of religions, and you probably belong into one of them. And the reason why there's even such, everyone has an opinion, everyone has a sense of wanting to belong, everyone is a curious individual. You want to know, how did you come about to become this person that you are today? Or other individuals might still be evolving, right? And this just proves that life is very much spiritual than we think, or than we might have perceived. And we live in a time where everything is just fast paced, and everyone's trying to get to where they want to be with minimum steps, easiest route. And we're all trying to make it in this lifetime. We're all trying to reach a destination, whether be it in your career, your financial goals, your relationships, you evolving as an individual. The main thing that, if I don't say any other thing, the main thing that I want you to know is that life is very much spiritual. And this then can be broken down into many other segments of your life. And when you scrutinize your life to find out, why are some things not working out in your life, or why is ABC not working out the way that it is on other people's lives? And the truth is, we're different, but there are life principles that are in place. There are things that we might not see that are in place that are very important. And if you are an individual that's ignorant or unaware that life is very much spiritual, you might just give up on it, and you might just continue with life as normal. You live from A to B, you wake up, you go to work, you come back, you sleep, and that's just a life of living a routine that's not taking you forward nor taking you backwards. It's just stagnant. And life is not just about existing. I'm quite sure you've come across people who've emphasized that you're here for a reason, you have a purpose to live out, and that is birthed out of understanding that life is spiritual. You're not just existing, you're not just a human being, but there's things in place, there's principles, there's life before there's an actual life. There's things that are done in the spiritual. There's things, this is not to scare you, by the way, and also just a disclaimer, I belong to a specific group of faith, and this is to just bring you into the knowledge, or rather remind you that life is not just about existing, but there's a reason why you're doing things that you're doing. There's a reason why that you have these opinions, and why is your life the way it is. There's beliefs that you're rooted in, and this podcast is to focus, or rather clarify, or have you go into an introspection where you sit down with yourself and you just question why you question yourself, why you do things the way that you do. All right. And what's influencing you. The introduction did mention that we live in a world that is just full of opinions, and to an extent we don't even know who's right, who's wrong. People are just living their lives and imposing things on other people. And if you are ignorant to the fact that life is very much spiritual, the downside of that is that even though you're ignorant or you're not taking note of it, somebody else is, and somebody else is impacting you in living your own life. That's the sad reality. So if there's anything that we want to do in 2023, is not just live life for the mere fact of existing, but rather question your motives, question how you do things. Sit down, have an introspection, do an audit. Why are you doing things the way that you do? And why are you born in the location that you're born in? What's influencing you? What decisions are you making? Who do you look up to for advice? And who are the people around you, the relationships that you have, the individuals that you spend most of your time in, the career that you're in, the way that you use money? We're not destined to, lack. That's what I believe. You're not destined to always lack. You're not destined to always listen to others. There's an impact that you need to carry out. There's a purpose that you need to carry out, and that stems out from understanding that life is spiritual. You can only change the way that you do things from understanding that you're a spiritual being, and everything else that happens around you is things that will impact you, things that will cause you to act a certain way. Before the life that we see, before the things that we do, before anything manifests, there's a spiritual side of things. A person might be a billionaire, and you might later find out in life, they're being accused of doing so and so. That doesn't remove the fact that they've put in the hard work, maybe by obtaining that degree or by acquiring that skill. But there's always a spiritual side of things that we most of the time overlook. And this year and in this podcast, it is to just bring your focus and constantly remind you that there's a reason why you're doing things the way that you do. And if you're an individual that wants to evolve for the better, that wants to improve for the better, you want to start healthy habits, you want to have a positive impact, you want to think differently, you don't want to be always depressed, you don't want to be always sick, you don't want to always lack. And maybe it's time to look at every aspect of life through the lens of faith. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Let's meet again on the next one. Life through the lens of faith.